I'm Victoria, and this is my bookshelf. Lately, I've been thinking about this book, and because of that, I want to talk about it for this Tuesday. I realize that most of you will never get your hands on this book, since it's written in Swedish. But I want to tell you about this book anyway, because this book matters. It's a work of fiction, but unfortunately, it's based on real events. It's a book about consequences, of hatred and prejudices, and about what happens when humans lose their humanity. This book revolves around the Holocaust and the post-war period, but more specifically, it's about a young gypsy girl. Her name was Malika, and she lived in Germany. This book tells the story of how Malika was separated from her family, how she fought to survive in the Auschwitz and Ravensbrück concentration camps, how she lost her loved ones to the cruelty of the Nazis, how she suffered and starved and worked and was put in isolation, and how she, through a series of unfortunate events, has to pretend to be a Jewish girl named Miriam and hide that she is in fact Romani. And somewhere along the way of getting her life torn apart, she loses her identity. She survives the Holocaust, and after the war she comes to Sweden. But through all the things that happened to her, she has lost herself and her identity. In Sweden, she tries to create a new self and leave her past behind. But there is an importance in remembering what happened. It is important to remember those who suffered and died, to remember the pain and the cruelty. Remembering is an emotionally painful experience, but just like the protagonist, I too, in the end, realized how important it is to remember. I knew before what had happened and how horrible it was, but it was through reading this novel that I could climb into the skin of Malika and fully understand and feel the pain. It made me realize how incredibly lucky and blessed I am. I have good food. I have never starved. I have a soft and warm bed. I have never lain sleepless in the fear of dying. I have a loving family always there for me. I have never had my loved ones taken away from me. But many people had. And through reading about their destinies, I can feel their pain. Then I fully understand why we have to prevent this from happening again. But in order to prevent something as horrible as this to happen again, we need to acknowledge that it took place and remember it. Through literature, both fictional and non-fictional, we can remember and understand why something like the Holocaust must never happen again. And that's why I turn to you, fellow booktubers. If anyone could keep a story alive through literature, it's you. I'm wondering if you have any book recommendations regarding the Holocaust. Fictional or non-fictional books about the war, or the concentration camps, or something similar. Or maybe a film or an interview with a survivor. If you have any, then please leave your recommendations in the comment section. Then we can share the memories and the stories, because it is our generation's responsibility to make sure we never forget.